From being a spoiled child of a wealthy family on Naboo, to becoming Emperor of the Galaxy, Palpatine achieved what no other Sith Lord before him had, wiping out the Jedi Order and ruling the entire galaxy. So when he wasn't scheming to achieve power, or later flexing said power as Emperor, what did Palpatine do in his free time? Well, as a child, Palpatine mainly spent his free time alone. He didn't have many friends and his family treated him like an outcast. As he grew older and became a teenager, he used his family's wealth to purchase forbidden texts on Sith lore. He read those texts on his own time, outside of school and his other responsibilities. It was from these books that he realized how he was going to achieve the power he so craved. He kept his knowledge of the Sith a complete secret, even to his soon-to-be Sith Master Darth Plagueis, initially telling the Mun that he barely knew anything about the dark side order. The one thing he really enjoyed doing as a teenager was speeder bike racing. He actually desired to become a professional speeder bike racer at some point in his life. He loved the thrill and the sense of danger that the races gave him. The rush they gave him was unlike anything else. Once he became a senator, and later the Supreme Chancellor, his tastes in entertainment changed quite a bit. Instead of speeding down a track at 100 miles an hour, Palpatine enjoyed the simple pleasures of the opera, frequently attending the famous Galaxy's Opera House, and he owned his own private viewing chamber within the theater. He found himself appreciating fine artwork and sculptures, going out of his way to surround his offices and apartments with antique art and statues. He also took an interest in reading tons of literature, particularly poems. One collection of poems he really enjoyed reading were written by a poet by the name of Azanek, who was infamous for his poems being very dark, sickening, and outright offensive. Once he arose to the title of Emperor, Palpatine found his first few years as ruler of the galaxy to be extremely busy. The few moments that he had to himself, Palpatine had surviving Jedi who had been starved in their cells be brought before him and forced to fight each other just for his mere entertainment. The Jedi that won would be allowed to live if they submitted to him and served his will. He also spent a ton of time training secret spies and assassins to look after his subordinates, whom he feared could betray him. This was done for pretty much everyone, even Darth Vader. One of the more interesting things that Palpatine did in his free time was write a ton of books. These books went over many things, including his political beliefs and how he rose to power, to his research and experiments concerning the dark side and Sith sorcery. Researching all the secrets of the Jedi archives and obtaining Sith artifacts from ancient Sith temples was another activity that he did outside of his formal work as Galactic Emperor. One of the things he spent much of his time studying was trying to learn the secret of immortality. He owned many palaces and resorts across multiple planets, from Naboo to his secret fortress world Biss. His most famous palace was the one on Coruscant, which was the largest building on the entire planet. Once he had created the entire structure of his new empire and appointed the appropriate moffs and governors to rule on his behalf, he began to reduce his direct impact on the empire and began doing things we mentioned earlier rather than rule. Although Palpatine craved power through his entire life, once he finally got it, and had no serious opposition against it, he kind of got bored. There was nothing super thrilling in just sitting on a throne and watching your empire expand and build itself up. He liked being in danger, being right there in the moment where history was being made. A natural tick in him, which has been there within him since his younger teenage years during his speeder bike racing days, up to the very moment of his death, where he would put himself right in the front lines of the Galactic Civil War during the Battle of Endor, just so that he could witness the destruction of the rebellion in his own eyes, and also to be the one who turned Luke Skywalker to the dark side. This can also be seen with Palpatine playing power games with the Black Sun leader Xizor and Lord Vader, forcing the two into a bitter rivalry to appease him. A rivalry that amused him, but also indirectly caused chaos within the political structure of the Empire. Even as the Emperor, Palpatine enjoyed scheming and creating elaborate plots to achieve his plans, such as when he tried replacing Vader with Galen Marek, later referred to as Starkiller, by constructing an overly complex plan of rooting out rebellious leaders while also forging Starkiller to take Vader's place. Seeing how things played out, Palpatine pretty much indirectly caused the Rebel Alliance to be created, and to lead to his eventual downfall. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, may the Force be with you.